Good morning, students. How are you all? Are you all doing good? Good. And are you all studying every day? I don't think, because I'm not getting the homeworks daily. Why so? Don't do like that. Study well. Okay? So, students, we will start a new topic today of the same chapter, that is combustion and flame. Okay, and we have completed the combustion part, and now we will see what is flame. So today we will start flame. Okay, our topic will be flame. Could you think of what is a flame? We have heard many times it is burning flame, then this and that, many things. Yes, but what is flame actually? What could be the main meaning or main thing behind flame? See, students, flame is nothing but the burning of a substance. Okay, whenever something burns, okay, either I will burn a particular wood or I burn any fuel, what happens? Flame comes out. Yes, we can see the fire. The best example what we could see the flame is when we on the gas stove. Okay, when we on the gas stove, what happens there? Suddenly the flame arises. Can you see that flame? All of you have seen, yes? Then if we burn the fire, then also we can see the flame. So that particular burning, okay, that is known as flame. And flame gives us light. It gives us heat. Clear? So that is what flame is. So flame means burning, and that which gives us heat and light. Clear? Then now you may have seen different substances burning. Okay? You may have seen many fuels burning. We have seen burning of wood, burning of gas stove, burning of candle, then burning of camphor. All of you understand what is camphor? Yes or no? While worshipping God or while the prayers, we use camphors. Okay, camphor is a smell-giving substance. Okay, which spreads the smell after burning. In Hindi, we call it kapoor. Okay, so we have seen different substances burning, but students, it is not necessary that all the substances which burn produce flame. Some may produce and some may not produce. Okay. For example, if I say, suppose I take a matchstick and I burn different substances. Okay. First, I lighted a candle. Okay. Then is it like candle suddenly starts and suddenly it goes off? Is it possible? No. Whenever we light candle, it keeps on burning till the wax becomes finished. Okay. So candle produces flame. Yes, we can see the flame in candle. Then second, camphor. When we burn camphor, okay, students, when we burn camphor, we can see that suddenly it starts burning and produces flame. Okay, even if it stops giving out flame after some time and smoke is spread, but even then it comes under the category of flame production. Okay, so here we can see that candle and camphor, okay, they produce flame. But when we come to the third one, that is charcoal. Okay, charcoal does not vaporize. Okay, and it does not vaporize, so it does not produce flame. So this proves, okay, this proves us that all the substances, it is not necessary to produce flame. Okay, only some substances may produce and some may not produce. Okay, so this is what we came to know. Then now we will go towards the next part. Now we will study the structure of a flame. Okay, and to study the structure of a flame, we will use candle. Okay, and with the flame of candle, we will study the different zones. Okay, or the different layers of a flame. Clear? So, students, the flame mainly consists of three main layers. Okay, it consists of three main layers, or we can say the three main zones. Okay, and different zones are shown with different colors to make you understand. So we'll see how it is. Students, you can see the inside one that is showing the black color. Can you see? That black color shows the innermost zone. Okay, it is the innermost zone. Then you can see the middle one. Okay, that is shown with yellow color. That comes in under the middle zone. Then you can see the outermost one. Okay, and its name is also outermost zone. Okay, so these are the three main zones of a candle flame. Clear? Then first of all, we will study all these layers in detail, and first of all we will study the outermost zone of flame. Okay, we will study the characteristic features of the outermost zone. Students, under outermost zone we have following characteristic features. Okay, first, it is the hottest part of the zone. Okay, it is the hottest part of the zone, we can say. Okay, because sufficient amount of air is present there. Okay, it is the outermost zone, so it is coming in the direct contact of air, so air supply is sufficient. Okay, that's why it is the hottest part. But the problem is, it is the non-luminous part. It is the zone which is non-luminous. Even the name itself says outermost non-luminous zone. Why? Because students, whenever you will see, especially if you see the gas stove, okay, if you have noticed it, or just go home and notice in front of your parents, okay, when you will notice the flame of the gas stove, you will mostly notice all the colors. Okay, in candle, in reality, you may or may not differentiate between the colors, but when you see your gas stove at home, you can very easily notice, okay, that the outermost part looks blue in color. Then you will just see more clearly, then you will find a particularly yellow type color inside. Okay, then you will see many. So in this way, different colors are used to differentiate. Okay, I also showed you the chart, and there I distinguished it with black, yellow and orange red color, just to make you understand that different layers have different colors. Okay, but they have their own particular colors. Okay, see, when we simply make a diagram, we can use different colors. Okay, but in reality and picture differs. Okay, so in reality, mostly outermost zone of a flame remains blue in color. Okay, it remains blue in color. And we have studied in the combustion about complete combustion. We have studied what is complete combustion, students? The combustion which occurs in sufficient supply of air is called complete combustion. So here air is sufficient, atmosphere is hot. So in that way, in that manner, it forms the complete combustion. Okay, and mostly it is blue in color. So that's it about outermost zone. Then why we use, if it is non-luminous, then why we use it? There may be some reasons to use it. Okay, so there are many reasons, students. It is mostly used by goldsmith. Okay, I don't know if you have went or not, but when you go to a goldsmith, okay, what is goldsmith? The person who prepares the gold jewelries, okay, who works with gold, that is known as goldsmith. So when you go to a goldsmith, okay, for some jewelry repair or something, then you will find they are having a pipe like structure, small cylinder is there, a very small cylinder is there. From there one pipe is attached, and that pipe gives out flame. Okay, that pipe gives out flame, which is helping him to melt gold and silver. Okay, that flame helps them to melt the gold, okay, or if silver. So that flame which comes out, okay, that blue colored flame, that is also the outermost zone. Okay, so that is all about outermost zone. Okay, now we will move to the next one. Now let's see the second zone, that is middle zone. Okay, so students, under this characteristics we shall see number 1, it is yellow in color. Middle zone is mostly yellow in color. Okay, what was the color of outermost zone? It was blue in color, but this middle zone is yellow in color, and this middle zone is just opposite to outermost zone with many respects. Okay, we have seen that it was hottest one, and this one is moderately hot. What does it mean by moderately? It means it is neither very hot, okay, and nor less hot. Okay, the middle one. As the name suggests, it is the moderately heated zone. Okay, then the luminous zone. Okay, whenever we find the middle zone burning, middle zone produces light. Okay, the meaning of luminous is light. So this middle zone, okay, the outermost zone will not produce any light. Okay, because see, in the gas stove, suppose electricity goes away and your mother is cooking food and gas stove is burning. So in that case, the outermost zone, that is blue colored zone, will be there, but it will not be able to produce light in the whole kitchen. Why? Because it is the non-luminous part, and it is the highlighted one, and the middle zone is inside the outermost zone, and that is why it is not able to directly come in contact, so it will not produce light in the whole kitchen if the electricity goes. So that's why we call it luminous. Okay, luminous. It was the non-luminous one, and this is the luminous one. Okay, if the outermost zone is not there, only middle zone is there, then it will ultimately produce light. Clear? Then incomplete combustion and insufficient air. Okay, as the definition suggests, we have learned in the previous videos that if the sufficient amount of air is not present for burning, yes, then the combustion will not be complete. So this middle zone forms incomplete combustion in insufficient amount of air. Clear, students? Okay, students. Now the third one, innermost zone. This is completely different from the first two what we have studied, that is the outermost zone and the middle zone. This zone has the least heat. Okay, it is the least hot zone. Then there is no combustion. Okay, because when we find the innermost zone, there is no supply of air. Even we have seen that the middle zone is not getting the sufficient amount of air, then how come the innermost zone will get? So innermost zone does not get the air, and due to lack of air, no combustion occurs here, neither complete one nor incomplete one. No combustion is there. Then the main reason is it looks black in color, okay, and the reason for this is this region contains unburned wax vapors. Okay, students, when we light a candle, okay, you have seen a thread like structure in the wax, that is known as wick. When we light a matchstick and burn that wick, okay, what happens is that wick burns, okay, that thread part burns, okay, and due to lack of air, the vapors are being collected there. That burning thread produces vapors, and that is being collected there, and that's why this layer forms black color. Okay, so these are the 3 zones we have studied. Shall we recall? First one was outermost zone. Second one was middle zone, and the third one is innermost zone. I hope you all are clear. Okay, so that's all for today. Whatever we have studied, go through the video well. If you have any doubt, then let me know. Okay, so students, now it is application time. Let's do some questions related to the today's topic. Okay, we'll do the true false today. So under that, first question I am asking you is, there are 5 zones of a flame. Is it true or false? Obviously it's false, because today only we have studied that there are 3 zones of flame. Okay, very good. Then second question, middle zone is red in color. Think of it. This kind of questions can confuse you in the exam too. Okay, this coloring questions may confuse you, so think it twice before answering. Okay, don't get confused. Remember what you have studied today. Okay, so what could be the answer? Middle zone is red in color. Okay, it is false. Why? Because middle zone is yellow in color. Clear? Then third question, no combustion takes place in innermost zone. What is your answer? It is true. Now only just before this we have studied that there is no combustion in the innermost zone because air is not there. Clear? So this is what you need to do today. Now it's your homework time. Students, these questions you have to do it as homework. Okay, first one, name the different layers of a flame. Second one, where is outermost zone used? Third, why is middle zone called zone of incomplete combustion? You have to do these 3 questions in your notebook and you have to send me on my WhatsApp number. Till now, I have not got the homework questions of many of you. Okay, so you should surely send it to me. Clear? Thank you. Have a good day. Students, I just forgot to recall or recheck your answers which you got in the last class. So, these are the assignment answers which you got in the previous class. Okay, first question you got was, what is the principle behind water extinguishing fire? So your answer would be, water releases vapors that cuts off the supply of air and hence extinguishes fire. Clear? This is the principle of water behind extinguishing of fire. Then second question you got was, what is the role of CO2 in extinguishing fire? So your answer is CO2 forms a blanket around the fire, thus cutting the supply of air. Okay. Then the third one, what forms or what causes the fire to spread? Okay. So for this your answer will be continuous supply of oxygen. Okay. Continuous supply of oxygen causes fire to spread. So these are the answers. Hope you all have done correct, because I have not got your answers. Most of you have not sent me, so I don't know what you have written, but I hope you have written correctly, and if you have done any mistake, then please correct it. Okay, thank you.